Day 2 of the 2024 NFL Draft is here, and we got some stuff to talk about after round 1. Welcome into the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jace Andrews, and we got a couple of different things to bring up here because after the pick of Xavier Worthy, which I do like, and sleeping on it, we'll talk a little bit more about him throughout today. But we're also going to give you a mock draft for today, which will only be one pick, at least as we sit right now. There's a chance the Chiefs could trade and go and get another pick, but we'll have to see about that. Plus, we're going to have some draft targets for round 2 of the 2024 NFL Draft. Just so you know, we are going live on our main channel today, so at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, you can check out our Day 2 coverage. We're going to be live right around there, maybe a little earlier, actually, from what I'm hearing, so maybe you want to check in there around 5:30 is what I am hearing. I'll be on there throughout the time, so if you want to come hang out with me, guess what? We're going to be talking some Chiefs on there as well. Plus, we will have a video for the Kansas City Chiefs at pick number 64. YouTube.com/chatsportstv is where we're going to find that stream. Again, it'll be me. You'll have Tom Downey. You'll have Sperry coming in there. Lots of guys you're going to want to know because, listen, I can do a lot of football talking, but there's some guys that I'll be on with there that know a lot more about the NFL and how these picks are going than what I know. So go check it out and grow your football knowledge with all of us. Let's take a look at the Kansas City Chiefs draft profile real quick and kind of discuss what happened last night and if I truly did like it. Because obviously, my initial reaction was happiness, and I still stand by that. I think that is a very good pick. I will say I think there was probably maybe some better options, and I don't know if the trade was necessary. However, I will say for everybody in the comments saying, why did they trade up? There was no point. They could have gotten him at 32. You don't know that for sure. And given after the fact there was 2 wide receivers taking and Ricky Pearsall along with Xavier Leggett, maybe Worthy isn't there. And you know the Chiefs value their speed. So they got that. And they got that wide receiver position filled out. So now today, I think it's severely focused on offensive tackle or cornerback. 6 picks left, 1 on day 2 here. So just that number 64 overall pick. Still looking for that 3-peat. I think Xavier Worthy could probably do it alone. However, not mad about having some extra picks to go help that offensive line and hopefully the cornerback room just a tad. Okay, first let's kind of go over some targets to discuss and think about where maybe some of these guys could fit in and what positions we're talking about. So obviously let's start off with offensive tackle because that's the perfect one for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I did want to preface here, I did a mock draft today and looked and made sure everybody who is on these targets were at least somewhere in the range of the Chiefs pick. Brandon Coleman is one that I really, really like here from TCU, the number 1 overall guy for me. Blake Fisher from Notre Dame is a guy that we've talked about a lot on this show. I think he fits in well and maybe a little bit undervalued for my sake, so I think he would honestly fit in there at number 64. Dominick Puni from Kansas. He's been more of a round 3 grade for me. However, if the offensive tackles start to go off the board like I suspect they might, especially in left tackles, Dominick Puni could be perfect because he can play guard as well. And with that being said, you can put him in there with Wanya Morris, have him battle out for that left tackle spot. And should he not get it, guess what? You have a guy who can play tackle or guard should injuries happen. Goncalves from Pitt is also somebody that I'd be watching out for. And then Isaiah Adams is, again, if these guys start going off the board, I'd maybe turn to look at those last 2 from both Pitt and Illinois. Who will the Chiefs pick at number 64? Is there somebody in mind that you would like for Kansas City to snag up? Is there somebody that you are hoping they get, or do you have a prediction? Well, now's your time to let me know. Get down in the comment section and predict who the Kansas City Chiefs will pick in tonight's draft. Heck, will they trade up? Maybe do that as well. Chiefs pick at number 64. What do y'all think? Let's go to the cornerbacks because I know there's some people who are talking thing, we don't need a cornerback. We don't. We got Jalen Watson. We got Josh Williams. And while I do agree to some extent, I do want to have somebody if Josh Williams and Jalen Watson don't exactly pan out. Now, I know that the confidence is there with them, but at the same time, you got to think like Wanya Morris. You want some competition for those two so that they're not just riding high thinking, okay, we're cornerbacks 2 and 3, we're going to get to play. Like, I want a little bit of competition in there. DJ Tampa is still available. I don't know how likely it is he will be available at 64. He was around the 60s in the mock draft that I did today, so could potentially see that. But with the cornerbacks, there is a potential for some guys to maybe fall down. I mean, Kool-Aid McKinstry is still there. We'll have to kind of see how that goes. Andrew Phillips, the Kentucky guy, I like him as a guy who will pretty much be available at 64. Again, Chiefs could always trade up for any of these guys if they really do like them. Tyree Jackson from Oregon is probably my top guy at number 64 and somebody who I think will fully be available. Phillips and Jackson are the ones that I'm looking at if you're looking for cornerbacks in round 2. But I honestly think there is a really good option of getting that round 2 pick of an offensive tackle and then trading into round 3 to get the last 2, Renardo Green and Kalen Carson. I love Kalen Carson a lot from the Wake Forest. He is one of those guys who I think is a round 3 grade, and he fits the bill for the Chiefs in terms of what they're looking for in the cornerbacks. And he tested well in all different aspects, both pro day and combine. I think he fits well with the Chiefs, and we know how well Brett Veach has been able to scout these cornerbacks. I expect him to be looking for somebody at least in the 4th round now that he has 2 picks there if he doesn't go with it in today at round 2. Hit that subscribe button because we got the best draft coverage on YouTube right now for the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, had a video out yesterday on the pick. We're having a video out this morning. We're going to have a video out later tonight about the pick at number 64, and we're going to have grades on the Kansas City Chiefs later out today. So you're getting 3 videos today after getting 1 yesterday. Plus, we were live for the draft pick. Promise you, you're not going to find it anywhere better than right here on the Chiefs Report. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. You will not regret it. And hey, just give us a shot. Subscribe today. If you don't like it, unsubscribe in 2 weeks. Not going to hurt my feelings. Defensive tackle is also something I do want to look at because I think it is a position not of need, but of want. I would like some depth there in a lot of different ways. Brandon Dorlus, the Oregon product, I think he has a potential to be there at 64. Rook Arohoro, he is one that I really liked at round 3, and I think this is where the trade-up starts to go in there because Arohoro, Michael Hall, Tavondre Sweat, and Mekhi Wingo, to me, are all round 3 grades. If you're going to get a defensive tackle in round 2, I think it has to be Brandon Dorlus from Oregon. Tested well, bigger size, fits the bill in terms of similar to Chris Jones, but also can complement him as well, should you have him come out there and play with him. But again, you have Derek Nottie, you have the depth is there, so in my mind, if you are truly wanting an offensive lineman, especially in the interior, get a round 2 pick of an offensive tackle cornerback and then trade up for Rook Aroho, Michael Hall Jr., Tavondre Sweat, Mekhi Wingo. Those guys should all be there around the round 3 area. I think it'd be awesome to go get one of those. Michael Hall Jr. is one that I really liked, and I had him as the round 3 pick for the Chiefs in a couple of my mock drafts. However, they do not have a round 3 pick anymore, and so that's where the question comes in. What will the options be? Are they going to wait till round 4 for some of these options and get an offensive tackle today? Well, we'll have to find out later on. Now, the good news is we already got 1 pick in the bag, and it's none other than Mr. Speed himself, Xavier Worthy. Cannot tell you how excited I am to watch him play in Arrowhead this season. The number 1's going to look really, really nice on him, and I'm excited. You can get your Worthy jerseys at chatsports.com/Worthy. Already there, already ready. And I'm telling you, it's a pretty good time to make sure you got your Worthy jerseys. I mean, hey, we all knew a Texas product would probably be ending up with the Chiefs. AD and Xavier seemed like a pretty good lock, along with, already seen Charles Dominick, a Texas guy, on there. Saw Keandre Coburn, although he's now on the Titans. Saw that he was a draft pick last year for the Kansas City Chiefs. And now we get Xavier Worthy. And listen, we heard some of his family members say they're going to regret that trade. And I don't know about you, last time the Bills made a trade with the Chiefs in the 1st round, pretty sure they regretted it. Go get your jersey for Xavier Worthy. I'm expecting big things out of him. chatsports.com/Worthy. Let's continue on with the targets here and to look at what could be available. Here's where the edge could come in. An edge is more lower on the totem pole just because you're going to have Omena who you drafted an edge in the 1st round last year with Felix Ndubuike-Uzoma, and I do think he will be playing this year, especially considering the fact that Omena will not be playing probably for the first at least 8 to 9 weeks, maybe even more. I don't know that I'll get him in day 2 in terms of round 2 or round 3, but I do think we have to look at it because it is a position that I could see them taking. Marshawn Nealon, the Western Michigan University guy, he's one that I've mocked the Chiefs in a couple of times. I've had him more in the round 3, round 4 area, which is, again, why most of these guys, I'm probably looking at a trade up. The one that I really like on this list, Thomas, Booker, and Solomon are all great. Braylon Trice really impressed me at a lot of different facets, both in college, along with both at his pro day and his combine testing. Really did perform well in all aspects, and I do like him potentially being there in the 4th round. If he is there, I think you have to go get him. Will he be there, though, is the true question. I would honestly not mind it if you take an offensive tackle today, and then you'll get Braylon Trice tomorrow in round 4. You can worry about a cornerback and a defensive interior lineman in round 4 and 5, obviously, tomorrow as well. So that'd be very nice, but again, we don't know what is going to happen. And who knows, maybe a trade is in the books for the Chiefs again today. If you're excited to see what Xavier Worthy is going to do as a Kansas City Chief, Well, then like the video because I guarantee you I am very, very excited, and I hope you are too. So go down there. It takes two seconds. Hit the like button. That way I know you're ready for X time in Kansas City. Let's talk some mock draft because obviously there's only one pick, but we're still going to do a mock draft for round 2. And I've shown you my targets. I've shown you the guys who I could see the Chiefs picking, but I'm going the easiest, most obvious pick, the top offensive tackle that I could see the Chiefs still being able to get at pick number 64, and that's Brandon Coleman. Now, once again, the question of if he will be there is there just because do left tackles start flying off the board? If so, Brandon Coleman going to be one of the first ones off there. TCU guy, number 64, seems like a perfect fit there. His stats are okay. I'm not going to say it's anything crazy, but again, I do think he's probably the best to challenge Wanya Morris. His overall PFF grade, 57.7, not bad. No sacks allowed. I think that's a big thing. Obviously, the hits, the hurries, the penalties, not exactly the greatest, but when it was in pass blocking formation, he was great. His run blocking struggled at times, and we'll have to see exactly how that would work with the Kansas City Chiefs, but we all know Isaiah Pacheco will find the hole no matter what. And here's again why you have to look at offensive tackle, because Wanya Morris, who is a third-round pick from last year, they already said they want competition with him. They want to make sure that he has to earn the spot. They do, however, feel, though, he has a good shot to earn it. But you got to make sure you go and make him challenge that, because I don't know about you. I don't want somebody who just comes into training camp and think, oh, yeah, I got the job. I don't need to worry about doing this or doing that. No, I want you to be motivated. I want you to be in here getting ready for the season. And I think getting an offensive tackle, especially Brandon Coleman, would make that very nice. Now, Coleman has an interesting childhood. Actually was from Denton, Texas, but actually spent a lot of his childhood in Berlin, Germany, before moving back here, and then obviously playing at a smaller college in Texas, and then going to TCU. So kind of an interesting story there from Coleman. Be pretty cool to have him on the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's look at his grades in terms of his athletic ability. And this is exactly why I think you can look past the PFF rank. You can look past the hurries. He really graded well throughout his entirety. I mean, his height and his weight aren't great, but if you look at every other stat, they're elite. I mean, RAS of 9.97 is something you don't see, especially looking at him in the late second round. It's really nice. His vertical is great. His broad jump was great. And he's pretty quick. I mean, he's in the 9th percentile for 40-yard dash and 20-yard split and 10-yard split. I mean, it's just very, very great. Sub-5 40-yard dash. I'm taking that every single day, especially in the second round with an offensive tackle. Plus, your next need is definitely an offensive lineman. I think that's the big reason why I have chosen Brandon Coleman. If you look at the way this Chiefs team is set up, the offensive line is the one that you're probably looking at the most. We saw the team needs, and that is what you have to go out and get for. So I know maybe not the best pick here in round 2, but in my mind, we got the cool pick in first round. We got the cool pick. We didn't have to see a Kingsley Suamataia at pick number 32. We didn't have to see a pick of an offensive tackle like Jordan Morgan, like the Packers. Sucks to be you. But we do get to see Xavier Worthy in. So now I'm fine with it. Let's take a tackle. Let's get it over with and make sure we help out our offensive line and protect the best quarterback in the National Football League in Patrick Mahomes. I had the question earlier on, but let's ask it again. Will the Chiefs make another trade tonight? Obviously made the one to move up to get Xavier Worthy. Will they do it again tonight to move up in the third round or maybe move up in the second round to get somebody? Let me know down in the comment section why for yes or in for no. Subscribe if you love the Chiefs, because I certainly do, and we're putting out content every single day. You're not going to find better coverage than right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We do appreciate hanging out with us, and more draft coverage will come throughout the day. That's all we got for you right now. We'll see you later tonight for round 2. Peace out, Chiefs Kingdom.